My name is Sarah Coleman, and I feel compelled to share something that has completely transformed my life. For days I've wrestled with how to put this into words, but the significance of what happened is too immense to keep to myself. On April 3, 2023, I faced an experience that shattered the boundaries of what I believed was possible. For 12 minutes, I was clinically dead. No heartbeat, no breath. Yet, during those 12 minutes I didn't just cease to exist. I went somewhere so profound, so overwhelmingly real, that I still struggle to comprehend it fully. This wasn't just a personal revelation. It was a message meant for all of us. To understand the gravity of this experience, let me provide some context. For over a decade, I've worked as an emergency room nurse. My life revolved around science, facts, and the concrete realities of life and death. I've stood witness to both the best and worst of humanity, moments of unspeakable loss and moments of awe-inspiring resilience. If you had told me even a year ago that I would be sitting here recounting a near-death experience with a message from Jesus Christ himself, I would have laughed it off as sheer absurdity. But life has a way of unraveling even the most steadfast certainties. That day began like any other. The night before, I had tossed and turned after my son's soccer game, my mind racing with the endless to-do list that comes with being a mother. Determined to clear my head, I woke early to go for a jog. The neighborhood streets were tranquil, wrapped in the soft, ethereal stillness of pre-dawn. A light fog clung to the ground, and the crisp air carried a quiet serenity that felt oddly refreshing. I glanced at my watch, 5:12 a.m. Everything seemed so ordinary. Then it happened. I don't remember the exact moment of impact. Later, I learned that a distracted driver, their attention glued to their phone, struck me as I crossed the street. One moment, I was running alive and carefree. The next, my world plunged into darkness. I expected silence, an end, an emptiness. Instead, I found myself in the most extraordinary place. The first thing I noticed was the light. It wasn't the harsh glare of the sun, or the artificial brightness of a bulb. It was something else entirely, pure, warm, and alive. It surrounded me, enveloping me in a love so deep it defies description. The light didn't just illuminate my surroundings. It filled me, washing away every fear, every pain, and every worry I had ever carried. In that moment, I felt a peace I didn't know was possible. A peace that felt like home. As I tried to take it all in, I noticed colors, vivid, radiant hues unlike anything on earth. The very air around me seemed alive, humming with an energy that resonated as music. Not any melody I had ever heard, but a symphony made of joy and love, as if the emotions themselves had been transformed into sound. Then I saw someone walking toward me. It was my father. He had passed away when I was a teenager, but there he stood, looking vibrant and healthy, like a younger, more radiant version of himself. I recognized him instantly. His smile was the same, warm, reassuring, and unmistakably his. But there was something divine about him, an ethereal glow that words can't quite capture. "Sarah," he said, his voice rich with love and tenderness, "you don't need to be afraid. He's waiting for you." Before I could ask who he meant, he reached out and took my hand. The moment his fingers touched mine, I felt a connection so deep it transcended words. Every question I had ever wanted to ask him was answered in an instant. Not with words, but with a profound understanding that flowed between us. "There's something you need to see," he said. And just like that, the light around me grew brighter, more intense, and then I saw him, Jesus. Words feel inadequate to describe him. He wasn't like the paintings or depictions I'd grown up seeing. His presence was both human and divine, radiating love, power, and an indescribable holiness. His eyes held everything, compassion, wisdom, and a depth that seemed to reach into the very core of my being. In those eyes I felt known fully and completely, in a way I had never experienced before. Overwhelmed by his presence, I fell to my knees, not out of fear but out of awe. He reached out and placed a hand on my shoulder, and I felt an all-encompassing love that brought tears to my eyes. "Sarah," he said, his voice gentle yet commanding, "there is something you must see, something my people need to know before I return." At that moment he showed me 4 visions. Each one was more incredible, more sobering than the last. The first vision was what he called the Great Distraction. I saw people all over the world glued to their devices, phones, screens, and technology. Families sat together, but no one spoke. Friends prioritized social media likes over real connection. Even believers were caught up in the noise, their focus consumed by things that didn't truly matter. Jesus turned to me and said, "This is how the enemy works. He keeps them distracted, focused on the temporary so they forget the eternal. Tell my people to wake up, to refocus their hearts and minds on me." The second vision was the Great Deception. I saw beautiful lights appearing in the sky, captivating humanity. Beings of extraordinary beauty and charisma began speaking to the world, promising peace, unity, and enlightenment. Their words were mesmerizing, but they were laced with lies. Even strong believers were drawn in, seduced by their charm. Jesus said, "These are not of me. They will mix truth with lies, leading many astray. Tell my people to stay rooted in my word, for it is the only foundation that cannot be shaken." The third vision was the Great Awakening. I saw waves of light spreading across the globe as people turned back to God. Families prayed together. Communities came alive with worship and repentance, and miracles unfolded. Healings, deliverances, and lives transformed in an instant. But this revival came with persecution. Believers were mocked, attacked, and even killed for their faith. Yet their joy was unshakable. "My Spirit will move powerfully in these days," Jesus said, "but the cost of following me will be great. Tell them to stand firm, for the reward is eternal." The fourth and final vision was the Great Return. The sky split open, and there he was, Jesus, coming in glory with legions of angels. The entire world stopped. Every knee bowed, and every tongue confessed that Jesus is Lord. Some did so in awe and worship, others did so in terror. It was the most breathtaking and powerful sight I have ever seen. "This is what awaits," Jesus said. "Tell them I am coming soon. Tell them to be ready, for no one knows the day or the hour." As the visions faded, I found myself still kneeling before Jesus. His gaze never wavered, and his words pierced my heart. "Sarah," he said, "the world is entering a time unlike any it has known. You have seen what is to come, but remember this. I am always with you, and I am always with my people. My love is unchanging, and my promises are unbreakable. Even in the midst of trials and chaos, those who trust in me will find peace beyond understanding." His presence grew warmer, as if to reassure me of his unwavering love. "There will be days of doubt even for you," he continued. "But know this, I chose you for this message not because you are perfect but because you are willing. Trust in my strength, not your own. And remember, the message is not yours to carry alone. My Spirit will guide you and give you the words when the time comes." Before I could respond, he placed his hand over my heart, and a rush of love so profound surged through me that it brought tears to my eyes. "Tell my people," he said, "that I see their struggles, their fears, and their failures. I am not distant from their pain. I am the God who heals, who restores, who makes all things new. They are never alone. I am always with them." Then with the gentlest urgency he said, "Now, Sarah, it is time for you to go back. Your work is not finished. Tell them I am coming soon." In an instant everything around me collapsed inward, as if being drawn through a pinhole of light. Then, I felt it, a jolt, a pull, and a rush of sensation as I was thrust back into my body. My chest burned as I gasped for air, my lungs desperate to breathe again. As I opened my eyes, I saw the faces of paramedics hovering over me, their expressions a mix of shock and relief. "She's back," one of them said, their voice trembling. "We've got her back." I could barely move, but tears streamed down my face, not from pain, but from gratitude for what I had just experienced. I wanted to tell them, to tell everyone, but the words wouldn't come. All I could do was hold the hand of a paramedic, trying to convey the enormity of what I had seen. In the days that followed, as I recovered in the hospital, I replayed every moment of that experience. My father's words, Jesus' presence, the visions of what is to come, and with it came a profound clarity. I had to share this message, no matter how difficult or unbelievable it might seem. Some have listened in awe, others have doubted, but I hold on to what Jesus told me. Some will mock, but those with ears to hear will understand. Tell them I am coming soon. And so here I am, sharing this with you, because the time is short and the message is clear. He is coming. Are you ready?